After you get up in the morning, do some exercises, go for a run, do some meditation so that you're able to finally quiet your mind, be fully aware and conscious and awake and really centered and able to, deal with your day, move forwards with a focused mind in the perfect, WOG adaptive way. Everyone in the world is going to be trying to knock you off balance. This is the purpose of media and broadcasting and advertising, is to make you unbalanced, to make you believe that you have wants and needs that you don't actually have. What the goal is to try to maintain your focus, peace, and calm, no matter how you choose to create your focus, peace, and calm throughout the whole entire day. If you take your focus, peace, and calm through inspiring yourself with religion and things like that, you want to be able to do that for the entirety of your day so that you don't get outside and you immediately return to being afraid again. Because you're like, oh my God, there's all these problems in the world, and you wind up getting overwhelmed, and before you know it, you're down there, paying $25 for a pack of smokes. Okay, so you want to avoid that. The way you avoid that is to just create it so that the ideas and influences of reality, of these perceived realities that advertisers try to sell to you, just kind of go over top of you. Kind of like armor for the mind, like brain armor, if you will. We're going to just go over a few different ways that you can do this in your home and abroad, when you're out and about being mobile. First and foremost, any piece of equipment you get, you want to sanitize it the moment you purchase it. Moving across the table here, I've got examples of a whole bunch of different ways, a whole bunch of different things, but try to keep with me. We'll see where we're at. The first thing we're going to do is, no doubt, wherever you get this particular program, you probably got it from a computer. And doing things on computer, well, everyone goes out, purchases themselves, usually a laptop. Most things are done on laptops now. Mind you, the desktop is a far more powerful unit, much more practical, but depending how mobile you have to be. Me, I primarily use a laptop because I'm everywhere. I'm scattered. I'm all over the place. What you want to do is make sure, first of all, that you're not littering. Okay, you're not broadcasting, being like sort of a spammer. Okay, a reality spammer. Just because you purchased a laptop and you happen to like your laptop, that doesn't mean that everyone else needs to know what kind of laptop you've purchased. First of all, you don't want to spam and advertise for free. The second reason is because if people know what make and model your laptop is, even in today's Bluetooth, Wi-Fi concepts, they might know some default stuff. If they can readily identify what kind of laptop you have, maybe there's some default passwords, some backdoors you don't know about. Maybe there's certain things about that laptop you're not aware of. So, no one needs to know anything about your equipment more than anyone else. What I do is, right off the top, is I try to hold as much, try to cover up all the labeling on the laptop as best I can. Now, some laptops have it actually like ingrained into the laptop itself. You can't get it off of there. Laptops are pretty fun anyway for doing stickers. So what I use on my laptop is I use stickers. First thing I'm going to put on here is I'm going to put my Rant Radio sticker on, try to keep it fairly nice. Now some people could say, but Sean, you're now advertising for Rant Radio. Yes, I am. Once we've determined who you're going to sell out to and all that good stuff, I figure, it's okay. I'm pretty heavily involved with these guys. I enjoy it. Other stickers, if you don't know what else, well, I don't really want to sell it to anyone. Go get yourself hazardous warning stickers. Part of the Rant Radio logo was taken from a hazardous warning sticker, and they're fun. They're great, and they're scary looking. Look at that. That tells people to stay away from this thing, and they're great fun at the border. I actually had a cop one time ask me, he said, is there any biohazardous infectious waste actually in your laptop there? And I'm like, no. Because if there was, surely I would tell this fine law enforcement officer. Throw it on there, and it looks pretty. It looks nice, looks fairly official. Try not to get any bubbles in there. Boom! You've now got a sanitized laptop. Everything you get has to be sanitized. Make sure it's clean. Make sure you're not littering. After we do that, the next order of business, because people see that. This is what they see while you're working, and they don't need to know what kind of laptop you have, what the make or model of any of that is. Since WOGs don't watch television, what you're going to need to do is you're going to have to get your news and media somehow. And of course, we get our news and media through the same way, well, all good people get their news and media through the internet. And when you're surfing the internet, there's a variety of browsers and things like that you can use, but only one of them is really any good, and that is Firefox. The reason why I've gone with Firefox is I now invoke the wrath of the entire computer culture. The reason why is because of ad block. Firefox, browser created, distributed for free, has a feature, a plugin that you can put into the browser. A number of them, actually. One of them is the weather one, which never, ever, 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 ever is accurate, but that's okay. It's not good to try to base your filming around a browser plugin. Generally, one of the greatest plugins I've ever seen, and really, I would encourage people to download and install Firefox for this browser plugin. There probably are other browser plugins similar, since Firefox came out with it, but it's called Adblock. And what they do is, as you surf the web, you will look and there'll be advertising all over the web now. The web is completely covered with ads and banner ads, and it's everywhere. You can't get away from these things. So what you can do now is you can actually click on the image and ad block it when you look at the page in and reload it, it's gone. It's completely gone. There's no more banners, and you can gradually get rid of all the different banner engines and everything. It's fantastic, and suddenly you get your internet back, and you're finally able to go to a website and look at news and things like that without constantly being bombarded with all these advertising. So that's one method you can kind of apply, you know, sanitization to your digital life or your digital self, your avatar, as you were. There's two places you're going to be going online. Now, going online is very dangerous because it does actually, you know, you got a lot of news there, things like that. You're making a lot of connections with people. Your ICQ list or your messenger list of any sort of type shouldn't be this massive conglomerate. You want to make sure you keep the people you communicate with to a really good group. You've got your friends, you've got acquaintances, you've got people you talk to, but you'd always have a core group. So don't spread yourself too thin. Okay, otherwise everyone kind of invades your life. You wind up getting out of balance, and that's not good. How do you avoid losing balance while you're online? Now, there's a couple of ways you can do that. First of all, just don't take too many messages, incoming messages. Do everything in a certain order. Try to maintain your calm. And there are ways that you can use your own senses to help you with this, both at home and abroad. First of all, one of the strongest senses that we have is the sense of smell. You know, the perfume industry and the fashion industry cater to this thing huge, and they're putting pheromones into perfumes and weird chemical concoctions to try to make you more trusting and all this sort of jazz. Rather than just, you know, leave yourself open to subject yourself to any smells, I would choose a scent that you would prefer to smell over everything else. Now, I myself came up with an aroma going through all the aromatherapy stuff that I would advise people to use. It's easy to make. You use it with usually I use a grapeseed oil extract. And you get a bottle of grapeseed oil extract or another carrier oil with no scent itself, and you can use this. It's a universal oil. You can use it as a massage oil. You can use it as an essential oil to smell. You can use it as a diffuser blend, what have you. But the blend itself, the grapeseed is just a carrier. You don't have to use the grapeseed. But the oils you need to remember are frankincense, equal parts frankincense, eucalyptus, champa, and ylang-ylang, however you say that. Y-A-L-A-N-G, Y-L-A-N-G. Relatively inexpensive, those four. The frankincense gets a little bit pricey. How I came to this conclusion had nothing to do with the odor. As a matter of fact, I went through all my aromatherapy books, found out the ones that mostly affect the mind and the respiratory system, and allows you to do all this mystical, metaphysical stuff. And the big heavy hitters were those four. Now, when you combine those four together in equal portions, so that you wind up with a few drops, and then you combine them, you know, look in your aromatherapy books. Sometimes they'll say that, you know, you want to have like 20 drops per, or like 4 drops per 20 drops of your carrier oil or whatever. But those are your essential oils in a blend that you then mix with your carrier oil. And I call that particular blend Navras, after one, the really cool song from the Matrix soundtrack, and two, the term used in Hindu culture, which, look it up online, you'll find all kinds of stuff about that. Now, there's a couple of ways you can use essential oils. At home, you can take them and put them in a diffuser. A diffuser is nothing more than a candle in a little bowl where you take, a few drops. I use way too much of the stuff because, well, my wife says, you only need a couple of drops. And I'm like, well, if some is good, more is better. You take that, you throw that in your diffuser, light up a candle, that goes on top, and about, 10-20 minutes later, what happens is the water, the candle, of course, evaporates the water up top here, and it, permeates throughout the entire house. This is very good because it's very clean. Very, very clean. You can smell it almost instantly, and very quickly, after you've done your meditations and all this sort of jazz, you don't realize you smell it anymore. So you're at home, okay, check this out. You're at home, you've meditated, you're calm, you're clear, you're focused, you've got your Navras burning. The olfactory senses have a strong impact on the mind. Think of the last time you had a smell that reminded you of something in your childhood, and you're like, bam, suddenly you're there. Well, that same smell, if you have a repeated experience where you're calm, you're focused, everything's good, and you burn some Navras, pretty soon that scent gets associated with being calm, collected, and focused. It's kind of a trick for your mind. When you do that, I mean, it's a very, very excellent way for you to kind of trick yourself into, if you, like say one meditation session, you can't really do it, or you haven't got time to do it. Well, if you light up some Navras, you smell it and you go, oh wow. And your brain will instinctively kind of flip itself back to being more calm and relaxed. A little bit of a brain trick there. Now, some folks don't like essential oils, okay? Maybe you're a smoker, which you should be trying to quit that. But if, for whatever reason you'd rather go with incense, incense is a perfectly good option. Also, incense, I've found, has a tendency to permeate and stick in fabrics and stuff like that a little bit more. Some folks prefer incense to others. Myself, when I burn incense, I burn Nag Champa. It's the Sai Baba stuff. I don't really agree with the guy's politics, but his incense is pretty good. You can take a couple sticks of incense, burn them in your house. Always burn the same kind of incense. It's not so good to burn multiple different kinds. If you want to try a different kind, burn it for like a week or 2 weeks, unless of course you burn it right away and you think it's crap. Make sure that you have it all in a really good container that you can kind of control where the ashes go. Incense is fairly dangerous stuff. You want to be careful with it because, I mean, this is hot. Candles, of course, you got a lot of guards here, won't get in there. So you want to be careful so you don't burn your house down. Okay, disclaimer, disclaimer. Don't light your shit on fire. Now, the same thing we said with the navras is you can't say with your incense. You sit there, you smell it, you're like, wow, suddenly I've got that feeling again. You see what I mean? And you can get yourself more relaxed, more calm, everything is relaxed. And that's great for home, but how do you take that feeling with you when you're on your road? Now, there's a bunch of different ways you can do that. And essential oils are a little bit better than incense for this reason as well. I prefer the essential oils myself. The way I do it is there's lots of things on the market, like little vials. You could throw this in your pocket, and throughout your day, you know, when no one's looking in the office, you just kind of go and then you're fine. You know, everything will be okay after that. But you gotta try to be a little bit more subtle about it, you know, because people get a little weird if they see you huffing, you know, Benzedrine out of a bottle or something. So the other way you can do it, rather than having to pull a little brown bottle out of your shaving kit, is through something like this. Now, this was made by a really nice hippie who created it. It's a ceramic container which is glazed on one side because essential oils go through ceramics unless they're glazed. So what you do is you take your ceramic container, you get your little eyedropper here, and ooh, I took way too much. Took too much, man. You took too much. Okay. And you just drop a little bit in here like that. Don't waste it. Put it back. Do-do-do-do. And you put your cork on it here. Now that seals this stuff inside the container. And then you can wear this around your neck. Make sure you put the ceramic side on the inside. There's all kinds of different ones that do these. There is no marketable, you know, I can't tell you a location or a website to go to, but this is generally what they do. Sometimes they're little vials. And this one here is neat because it leaks through here all day long. So if you wear it underneath your clothing, it's really nondescript. It gives a nice pleasant odor. It's a natural odor. Oh, as a footnote, make sure that you use natural source essential oils. Any kind of perfume essential oils are garbage. Matter of fact, they're worse than garbage. Some of them are toxic. So you must be an absolute freak show when it comes to the purity of your essential oils, because otherwise it's ridiculous. Now, when you have your essential oils, you get them all located. That gives you a sense of personal aroma. And I use the Navras for everything. I use it as a cologne. I use it as something to rub on your face when you get out of the shower, keep moisturized, all that good, you know, American Psycho stuff. Very handy to have, and as well, olfactory senses. Now, the interesting side effect of using essential oils in that way over incense is when you meet people, because you're a wog and you're focused and you're like, you know, very able to be calm, you want to be a calming influence on other people. And if you have that sort of aroma about you because you're wearing these essential oils, eventually people come up to you and they go, wow, man, you know what? You smell great. You know, like every time I'm hanging out with you, you're always, you know, you're really a relaxed guy. You're just a pleasant guy to be around. And you say, well, that's because I use Navras. And they go, what's Navras? And you tell them how to make it. You tell them how to make it right then and there. You know, you take, you know, your frankincense, champa, lang lang, and eucalyptus, and you combine them all together, and you know, carry it on, off you go. You know, maybe carry an extra bottle with it, give it to them. That way we can completely destroy the perfume industry, which would be cool because, you know, well, that would take care of the whole animal testing thing, wouldn't it? That's one way of controlling, you know, through the sense of smell. But of course, when you're out there walking around, the major sense that everybody uses, of course, is the sense of sight. Everyone should own a decent pair of sunglasses. Now, for me, I used a set of these sunglasses here. We've talked about these ones before. If you have prescriptions, you can get an insert for them or get prescription sunglasses. These ones are very inexpensive. These particular ones are ESS ones, which I'm wearing, and they're kind of neat, but it says ESS on it here. Now, with sunglasses, you don't really want to be like drawing over them, putting stickers on your sunglasses. So you can find yourself, you know, there's lots of different solvents on the market, lots of different products you can use to take paint off of things. You put a little bit on there, do. Make sure you test it so you're not going to melt your actual glass to plastic. And just come aboard it a little bit. Yeah, and it's gone. Just like that. And suddenly, you have nameless glasses. Wonderful. No more spam, no more littering. Now these ones here, there's a series of different lenses you get from. You can get the clear ones, you can get the yellow ones, but when you walk around wearing like yellow glasses and things like that with something this drastic, it's a little intimidating for people. It's like broadcasting that you are, in fact, insane. Although they have no right to judge you that way, you know, you want to conceal it a little bit better. You don't want to walk around with the jewelry on the outside. You want to keep it on the inside. No reason to broadcast to people that you have mystical powers imbued by essential oils or crazy sunglasses. So when you're choosing sunglasses, if you can't clean them up, you should get a pair of sunglasses that look pretty nondescript, don't have a logo really apparent on the outside. Take a look at them. Yeah, they look all right. Throw them on. See how they look. This serves two functions. First of all, it affects the way that color appears to you. And because it affects the way the color appears to you, it manipulates the advertising. People are designing advertising very specifically with colors. They spend a lot of time and a lot of effort to do that. If you can suddenly throw a shade on it, all their work is for nothing. You know, you look at billboards and things like that, and all their colors are arranged in such a way, well, you throw a filter over top and all their color scheme is shot, and suddenly you've got a barrier. The secondary barrier to sunglasses, it's very rude to talk to someone generally considered in face-to-face conversation with sunglasses on. Now, why is that? Because you have a degree of separation. If you're wearing sunglasses, people can't see your eyes. The eyes being the gateway to the soul and all the rest of the good stuff. If you keep sunglasses on, it creates a barrier between and them, the safety of behind the lenses. As a good friend of mine in New York said, it's a bullshit filter. You know, you can wear them, get some that don't take away too much light so you can wear them in low light, high light conditions, and it has a certain disguising features available to it as well. It's always good to have a pair of sunglasses, especially now as the ozone layer decreases as well. So you've got two advantages of this. One, it separates you, making you less, giving you the advantage to other people who they now cannot see your eyes. And two, it has disguise features added to it. You can change up your sunglasses because you always wear the same sunglasses. Then one day you wear these, another day you wear these. You know, you change it up, mix it up, have some fun with it. And don't buy the really, really expensive ones unless you really, really like them and you think there's some sort of quality reason behind that. From sight, we've got sight and smell. Now let's move towards another really huge one. When you listen to the radio, you're listening that sound. And of course, commercials, they're loaded with subliminals on the radio. The radio probably more so than anywhere else. Bells ringing, car horns honking, sirens, alarms clocks going off, phones ringing. All of these are really common on radio commercials. They're so common now that once you're aware of, like, yeah, I keep hearing, and we'll be back in a few moments. Ring! And all these bells go off. That's why when you're in Vegas, the slot machines make those god-awful noises. It's all bells. They're all to distract you, to throw you off focus. So how do you get away from that? How do you get past that? Well, again, while you're at home, after you've done all your meditation, stuff like that, you listen to, now, I'm not going to pick a genre. I would advise that people, when they're just starting out and just starting to experiment with this, listen to Baroque music, classical Baroque music. Why? Research has been done that shows that Baroque music affects the mind to make it so you can learn more easily. Keep it as background noise. We're not, doing the thrash metal to Baroque here, okay? And no, Apocalyptica may have some Baroque music, but it is not qualifying as Baroque. Go get some symphonic stuff. It's good for you. A little bit of classical never hurt anybody. If you totally, totally hate it, go find some Baroque music that you don't totally, totally hate, okay? Now from there, how are you listening to this? Because just like the smell from the Navras, you can influence yourself with repetitive tunes. Make some mixtapes, things like that. Now at home, I listen to it on headphones. Music, I believe, in the modern age, especially if it's recorded in any way post-production, is designed to be listened to on headphones. Baroque music is probably a little bit better on a stereo, but myself, when I'm listening to music at home, I don't really listen to a lot of Baroque, I'll be honest with you anymore. I don't listen to a huge ton of it. So generally I work with more Goa, psytrance, ambient, that kind of techno stuff. And I believe that most of that music is composed with and designed to be listened on headphones. So a good set of headphones is invaluable. Now, also you can keep the volume level low, otherwise you're going to damage your hearing. So what's the first thing you do? You get your headphones home. Number one thing you want to do is take away, well, you got to sanitize your headphones so you're not going to be, littering with people. These particular headphones here, if the paint doesn't come off, you just take your marker and very deftly draw over it as best you can. Just the brand name so that you're not advertising without being paid for it. Yeah, that's not too bad. Kind of covers it up, basically, so other people go, oh, well, that's cool. Now, as technology advances with headphones, holy cow, can you spend money on headphones? Oh my God. Like, there's a bunch of different companies out of Germany and stuff like that. They make these headphones that just get out of control. And I don't know enough about audio stuff to really, advise on certain kinds of headphones, but there's certain perks with other, certain kinds of headphones. These ones here, which I got, which are pretty cool, have a feature called noise cancellation, where you activate a little switch, battery powered, but what you do is you put them on, and it has the effect of being able to filter out outside sounds so that you can't hear outside noise, and it makes the sound that you're hearing through your headphones a lot cleaner. So if you're sitting in a coffee shop and you're able to actually, sit down with your laptop and do some work, throw the headphones on. Throw the headphones on. If you've got glasses that have a little bit of light fade on it and you're outside or whatever, throw these on, and suddenly you're in your own world. No one's going to mess with a guy sitting in a coffee shop doing this. It's not going to happen. No one's going to come in and be like, excuse me. You ignore them. And then they leave you. You're invincible, invulnerable, unless they come up and physically make contact with you, in which case, well, we get into another section of the show, which I'm not allowed to talk about. Now, moving past the headphones, wow. That's really loud. Noise cancellation, I really dig. It's a very interesting technique. It's been used a lot on planes, but when you're not at the coffee shop and you're walking around, you got your sunglasses on, how are you going to be able to make sure that you don't become subjected to all these things? People, you have the Carney Barker syndrome. Everyone's gone to the fair, and you get people going, hey, why don't you come on over here and win something for your wife or whatever, they do this crap. So you're walking around, you want to avoid all the noise, all the hubbub, all the screaming, all the broadcasted advertising, especially in the day and age now where we're approaching a time where people are going to be beaming messages directly orally at you, specifically as you walk by. It's getting to the point where, aside from sunglasses, which protect your eyes from radiation and invasion of your privacy and, sort of a kind of a snooping, really, like a port snooping that people do subconsciously when they try to sell you stuff, you're going to need to get yourself a set of headphones to wear when you're walking around day to day. Technology's around now where you can get, any number of convergent devices, which, has your MP3 player, you have your cell phone, all that good stuff, all in one. So you get yourself a set of mobile headphones and you wear them. After, of course, sanitizing them. You got to make sure that. And when you sanitize, you don't have to sanitize every single marking on there. If you don't recognize a logo or a name and it's not easily recognizable, you see like the name is there, well, just draw over the name. You don't need to get all crazy about it. You don't have to completely make your headphones look horrible. Just go and draw a little beam like that. Even almost kind of suits the whole thing, so nobody really notices it. It's not a big deal. If you want to get artistic about it, sure, use some license, personalize them. It serves another added advantage is if somebody were to walk away with your headphones, you'd be easily able to identify them. So as you walk around with your headphones on, this, again, isolates you. It keeps you away from everyone else. Even if you don't have any music playing, because you want to be aware of your environment, you can be sitting there listening to your music with your sunglasses on, do-do-de-do, listening to music, and you simply deactivate the music, bang, and no one's aware that you're actually hyper vigilant in your own environment. And when you think that if you're on a subway, say, or something like that, something sketchy's going on, you want to avoid it, you can start the music again at your leisure. But it's always good because people realize you're not part of the environment there. You're closed off. You have that brain armor, that firewall present. If you want to take it one step further when you're out in public, and I think everyone should do this, I think everyone should own a series of hats. Now this hat here, you can't really tell by looking at it, but this hat here has its name brand on it, but because it's a camouflage hat and multicam, you can't really see what the name brand is, so I'd say that passes not for brain littering. I put a Canadian flag on mine on a Velcro patch. You need to take it on, put it off. You can put other patches on there, if the Rant Radio patches were still available, you can get one of those, but they're not. Only certain special people have those, and those people who have them are imbued with magical powers. For those of us who don't have the patches, you get whatever, maybe something generic like an American flag, something that's neutral, so it looks like you're saying something, but in actuality, you're really not. You're just kind of got this hat on. So you throw your hat on over top, do-do-de-do, and then you have eye contact broken. You're sitting there on your, tram or L or whatever you have that you're transporting. Say you're taking the bus or you're riding your bike. You're just walking down the street, do-do-de-do-de-do, and you are, in essence, armored from the skin out. Now, you have a series of different companies make, like silver threaded hats that actually take it one step further. It's like having a Faraday cage around the top of your head to stop EMF signals. This is a glorified version of the tinfoil hat. And the tinfoil hat, although we'll be discussing that as well, sometimes, you have to draw your own personal limits to how far you want to go. Some people just think, I would start with a ball cap and then work towards, your tinfoil boonie concept. But that's only for, your really hardcore wogs out there who probably need it. Last but not least, you must plan for the eventuality of failure, as all good engineers do. When I have that, it's always good to have a fail-safe. Now, other than using a variety of weird narcotics and stuff like that, if you get overwhelmed, if you get a case of the black shakes and the world is rushing in on you, some really good friends of mine from weblife.org, came and gave me some stuff that called ume plum concentrate. Now this ume plum stuff, it's from Japan. I guess the samurais, before they go out on the battlefield and cut each other up, they used to mac out on these ume plums that were pickled. Now the ume plums themselves are kind of toxic, but once you pickle them, there's something about the plums that it kind of affects that, and it gets rid of anxiety. The one company I know makes it, because they sent me some stuff and they thought it was cool, was these guys called Eden Foods. Nice people, they got their own ideas, they got their own belief system and stuff like that, just like the guys who make the incense have their belief system. But their product, well, let me tell you, it works. All you do is take a little dollop of this weird tarry stuff, which is really, really hardcore, and you put it on your tongue, just to even that little bit there. Sometimes when it ships, it comes with a little spoon, but this stuff is like total tar. I just take it and lick it straight off the lid. absorbs through the skin in the mouth, straight into the bloodstream. And you will find it has the application, like Shinto priests use this stuff before they meditate. It makes them very present. It makes them able to like focus, get outside of their head and into reality so that you don't get confused and lost. Very, very handy. And an excellent rescue remedy to have in case you wind up getting overwhelmed. And that's pretty much the use of it. Now, there's lots of things you can span on from there. You can go out, think about different things you can use. As you get involved in the culture, you'll find new and exciting ways to protect yourself and create your own forms of brain armor. But this is just the basics. Where you go from here is up to you. My name is Sean Kennedy, and I am the fucking man.